here at Crohn's and Colitis Canada would like to briefly introduce ourselves. I'm Natasha Mistry, the Manager of Public Policy and Stakeholder Relations. I helped to create the GoHere program, and I'm really honored and happy to see all the enthusiasm from all of you joining us today to talk about how we could implement these programs in your cities. So we do have people from all across Canada. It seems like predominantly Western Canada right now, but we do have other volunteers that we've recruited over this past year. We've had a very successful launch in Calgary with Mayor Nenshi supporting the project. And I'm pleased to announce that very soon we'll be meeting with the Minister of Health in BC, Terry Lake, who has already indicated his support for GoHere, but we really do want the BC government to take a stronger stand on this program and even potentially create some type of bylaw that enforces people to open, or retailers to open up their washrooms for people who suffer from incontinence. So welcome. Over the next hour, I will address some of the challenges of washroom access. We'll propose a solution to increase access through the GoHere initiative, and I'll walk you through the volunteer responsibilities for the GoHere project. So let's move to the next slide here. So really, we'll start by understanding the context. I'll give you some background information and statistics about Crohn's and colitis and why people need access to the washroom immediately. I'll walk you through the 3 components of the GoHere project. It's always good for everybody to have a clear understanding of the whole project. While we have all of the volunteers working on a specific aspect, which is the decal piece, there are 2 other components that I want to familiarize you to. We'll also talk about some of the steps that we encourage our volunteers to take when they reach out to the businesses. And then we have some time at the end to answer any questions that you might have. So right off the bat, I want to thank each and every one of you for, having a passion for this issue and wanting to take action in your community. You should realize that you're playing a very historic role in this project, and it's still in its very beginnings. We're trying to create a project that will spread throughout Canada. And so GoHere will be fairly new in the regions or in the areas that you actually live in. So Edmonton is quite new. Victoria, I don't believe we have any volunteers out there, so it's really critical to have the capital of government, have some volunteers out recruiting businesses. And also in Saskatchewan, it's quite new. So, we're starting to take our first steps, or baby steps, to grow and expand this program across the country. So here are some statistics that you are all probably very familiar with. And we've all been there. We've all had to urgently go to the washroom, and sometimes there are none in sight. For healthy individuals, this could be a rare occurrence, but for people who suffer from incontinence, such as those living with Crohn's and colitis, this can happen 5 to 20 or more times a day. And these statistics we've found through some of the surveys that we've done over the years with our community. As you know, living with these lifelong conditions means staying close to washroom. And as a result, we find that most people become recluse, or they make excuses to stay at home at the expense of their social and work life. We really do view Crohn's and colitis as Canada's diseases. You can see very clearly from some of these statistics, we do have the highest rates of prevalence and incidence in the world. And most disturbing, we do know that the rate of diagnosis is increasing more rapidly in children under the age of 10. Though these conditions are very similar, they do cause internal inflammation in the gastrointestinal tract. We do know that there are no cures at this time, but researchers are looking into the causes and the triggers. And we do have treatments available and lifestyle plans that people can take on to change their diet and try to manage their conditions as best they can. So what we want to focus on is the urgency to washroom access, since this is one of the most challenging symptoms that people with Crohn's and colitis face every day. So you can see some of the statistics that we've posted up here on our slide. We reached out to over 600 people across the country who responded and told us what it's like to live with Crohn's and colitis. And, you know, frequent visits to the washroom is the main aspect of this disease that I'm here to talk to you about today. You know, we know that public washroom facilities are not always accessible. Sometimes they're open for customers, other times open for employees only. And the lack of facilities really discourages people with incontinence from venturing outside of their homes. You can see some of the statistics here. I'd like to point out a few. We've had more than half of respondents have said that they needed to negotiate or even share private details of their disease or their condition in order to get access to a washroom. The majority of respondents were denied access to the following businesses, including retail, restaurants, cafes, grocery stores, and gas stations. This lack of access results into nearly 80% of our respondents who decided to stay at home while in a flare-up because of their fear of not accessing a washroom. You know, we call Crohn's and colitis Canada's diseases, and unfortunately, Canada lags behind in washroom access legislation. A lot of the city planners don't even think about washroom facilities when they plan their cities. We need to do more. If we look down to our neighbors in the south, there are actually 14 U.S. states that have enacted legislation that forces businesses to provide washroom access. If we look across the ocean in Europe and even in Japan, there are portable washroom facilities everywhere in public spaces. You know, in Paris being such an old city with old infrastructure, they're still able to develop and add washroom facilities in their cities. We do know that in 2009, the City of Toronto passed a bylaw where washrooms within retail establishments that are over 33 square meters or larger, they're required to provide male and female washrooms to the public. We wanted to create a pragmatic and progressive solution where businesses in the community will willingly open up their existing washroom facilities through our GoHere initiative. So I'm going to talk to you a little bit about each of the components. On your slide, you'll see the links to our English and our upcoming French website. GoHere, a lot of people jump on GoHere, including some governments, because it is a no-cost, easy initiative that will help increase washroom access. You can view the branding that we have developed for the French and English versions of this initiative. We have updated this decal, and the only difference you'll see now is that there is a red bar that goes along the bottom of the decal itself, and it will carry the go-here.ca URL on it. And the Crohn's and colitis name will be more prominent in the updated version of the decal. But the decal component, and that's the first one, this is the one where we want all of the volunteers to focus their efforts on. It really drives the program, and it's a potential business partnership initiative as well. We want businesses to open their washrooms for people who suffer from Crohn's and colitis, but other types of incontinence as well. We know that people with disabilities, people with different types of cancers, people living with diabetes, even pregnant women, senior citizens, often require washroom access immediately and urgently. So these are the added benefits of the program. It reaches beyond people living with Crohn's and colitis. But our ask to the businesses is to open up their washrooms, and if they agree, we will post decals on their storefront window. And you see an image here on the slide that demonstrates one actual business in the city of Barrie in Ontario that has proudly placed its decal sticker on its front door. The decal is really to first get washroom access in small and medium-sized businesses. For large-scale corporations, we really want us here at headquarters to do that legwork, simply because it involves reaching out to headquarters of these large-scale corporations, and we could send our CEO, Mina, to meet with the right people to make that ask and to ensure that all the franchises of these large-scale corporations come on board and join GoHere. So we will soon be making a big announcement that Husky Canada, Husky the gas and oil company, will be carrying GoHere decals on all of its washroom locations at gas stations across the country. So that's 400 locations that they have across the country. So for us, that's a really big achievement. And an official announcement of that partnership will be made in the coming months. But, you know, over here at headquarters, we'll be reaching out to the corporations, and we would like the volunteers to work locally to make sure that local small and medium-sized businesses are reached and pitch the ask for opening up their washrooms. When we piloted the initiative in Calgary, we had forecasted about 40% of businesses will come on board to join GoHere, and that's exactly the numbers that we've received. So of the 100 businesses that have been approached, 40 have come back with a yes, and for us that's a really big achievement. We think that, you know, we'll be working in small steps. We don't expect every single business to embrace the project immediately, but those that do might, in fact, experience an increase in profits. They might experience an increase in traffic where people recognize that it's a GoHere business and they might prefer to shop at this location as opposed to one that doesn't have a GoHere decal. So this is, we really want to emphasize the fact that, sorry, there's a phone call coming through, so just bear with me, I'll let it ring. But we really want to emphasize the fact that it's really trying to increase access through voluntary mechanisms. So we don't want to force businesses to open up washrooms. We want to gain them as a partner. And then once we have a number of partners under our wing, we can then take these numbers to the government and then pitch the ask that, look, you know, Minister of Health, we have businesses here that have voluntarily opened up their access for washrooms for people with Crohn's and colitis. We think that the business community is favorable to this type of policy, and we would like you to take it a step further and create legislation to enforce all retail locations to have their washrooms open for people living with incontinence. So that's the general idea of the decal initiative. Now for the second component of the project, it's also an exciting one, and that's the mobile app. We have a free app that's available to anybody in Canada, and it basically uses the GPS on your smartphone to locate washrooms in your nearby locality, your nearby area. There's some really great features on this app. People are allowed to add favorite locations. They can rate certain locations based on accessibility, cleanliness, hours of operation. They can even provide comments to a particular washroom facility. And you know, you're also allowed to use a Google Map feature on the smartphone where you could map your route. So if you move from point A to point B, you can do a search on the phone. It will provide you with a Google Map direction view, but it will also highlight the washrooms along that particular route. You can save those routes and file them on your phone. And another feature that is part of the third component of the GoHere project is getting a washroom access card. So right now, the washroom access card is available on the mobile app as a virtual card, and here's a view of this card. And you can personalize it. So when you add your username onto the phone, it will pull your name and add it along that line on the bottom. But for some people, we've heard in the community that, you know, they feel more secure having this card with them. And until we get more businesses to join the GoHere program, this is a card that they can use at those locations that might not know about GoHere yet or haven't been approached by volunteers. So I'm going to stop there for a second and see if there are any questions from the phone.
This is Sally. I have a question.
Yeah.
So for this particular access card, a person who suffers from these particular illnesses can go through the free app and get it that you spoke about, the free app about where to locate washrooms. It's on that same place?
Sorry, you're looking at the Washroom Access card?
Yes.
Yeah, they can get that for free from the app directly.
Okay.
Now what we're doing is we're currently trying to build up a section on our go-here.ca website where people could actually print a copy of the card from home from the website itself. So that's in the works right now, and it should be ready sometime by spring.
Okay. So anybody can go and get this card off the app right now, though?
That's correct, yeah.
Okay, super. Thank you.
Yeah. Okay, so now moving on to the next part, I wanted to talk to you about your role as a GoHere volunteer. So now that you've signed up to initiate GoHere with small and medium-sized businesses in your local community, I want each of you to kind of think about what your goal would be when you do your outreach. So you might want to take 2 or 3 hours on a Saturday on the weekend and aim to reach out to 20 businesses. And so with those 20 businesses, your goal might be to recruit 5 or get at least 5 to say yes and post GoHere decals on their storefront window. To us, even if a business says no, it's still a positive, it's still a win for us because that business now understands the disease. They're made aware of the need for washroom access, and maybe in the future we would like for you to go back maybe in a few months' time and make that pitch again to that same business and see if they might have changed their minds. But really, I want you to think about the goals and really to register as many businesses as possible to the GoHere Decal project. We do have a very keen, enthusiastic volunteer that recently joined with us. She's based in New Brunswick, and we found that her goal had been 80%. So she wanted to get 80% of businesses to join GoHere, and she's done exactly that. Every business that she's reached out to has predominantly said yes. So we've had a very high success rate in Grand Falls, New Brunswick because of this enthusiastic volunteer. So, you know, that 40% rate that I used earlier in the orientation, it might change depending on, you know, the enthusiasm level of the volunteer, perhaps the support that you might receive in your business community. So each volunteer will receive a support package, and both Aisha and myself are based here at headquarters to provide you with ongoing support, ongoing training, You might find that after your first initial outreach, you would come back to us and maybe have some more questions on how to do this or what type of approach works best, or your next steps. And we're always here to provide you with that type of ongoing support. So now that you've all signed up, you will be receiving in the mail some backgrounders, some briefing notes. This is really for you to keep and read, and you might want to refer to it from time to time. This will help you with having a good understanding of Crohn's disease and ulcerative colitis and the statistics and existing or non-existing legislation that is about washroom access. So we will provide you with these backgrounders in the mail. We'll also give you an example speaking guide. You don't have to carry it with you and read it word for word, but it really gives you an idea of how to approach a business. We always emphasize being very collegial, respectful. We don't want you to force a business, force their hand in joining GoHere, although that would be wonderful to try to get them as best you can to join the program. But we really want you to share, to raise awareness. We want you to raise awareness about Crohn's and colitis as diseases. We want you to raise awareness about the need for washroom access. And we want to make sure that, we find that maybe once this is done successfully, a business will come back with a yes and say, I can join right now. So we will also be providing you with copies of decals, and we also want to provide you with an Excel form where you can keep record of all of the businesses that you've approached. So in this Excel form, you will write down every single business, no matter if they say yes or no, and those that actually say yes, we will want you to register them, if you receive permission from these businesses, to register them on the go-here.ca website. Now, there is a link to a volunteer hidden form, and you'll see that link here. So after you do your outreach in your day, we want you to come back and record everything that is in your Excel sheet onto this online form. These forms are very important for us because the information that you add on this volunteer form then gets entered into our database that we carry at Crohn's and Colitis Canada. We're able to run statistics, or we're able to capture the information of businesses when you add this information into the database records. And that's how we find out, oh, well, in Grand Falls, New Brunswick, there is an 80% joining rate. And in Calgary, there's a 40% joining rate. And we will know and keep track of which businesses have said maybe, come back later, which businesses have said, yes, I want a decal, and how many we've sent out, and which volunteers are doing what in which city. So it's very important, and I can't stress how important it is to make sure that you keep the records accurate and up to date when you do your outreach efforts. I just wanted to go through very quickly what the script will entail. There are 3 main sections of the script. So when you do your outreach to a particular business, we want you to introduce yourselves, and we will provide you with business cards where you could write your name on that business card. Come across as being professional, and let them know that you are a GoHere volunteer ambassador for Crohn's and Colitis Canada, and explain to them, maybe even ask them, do you know about Crohn's and colitis? And some of them might actually know, and others might have no clue, and so you have to kind of detect how much information you share during this first phase. The second phase of the speaking notes will share information about the project and about washroom access. So you want to tell them that GoHere is a simple solution. There's really no cost involved to the business. All we ask is that you allow us to get access to the washroom without people coming in and asking your staff and explaining the disease condition. So we can provide them with leave behinds, and this leave behind can share the information that they can post on their staff boards to share information and let their staff know that there will be people who come in and they might not purchase items and they might just come in to use the washroom. And then the third part of your speaking notes or your speaking notes to reach out to businesses involves the registration and decal order. So if you find that they are attuned and favorable to posting a decal, you will ask if they are okay for you to register them on their behalf, and then you can return when you receive the decals to post it. And I know that some volunteers actually prefer taking photos of the business owner posting a decal on their storefront window, and we will post these photos on our website, and we'll post them in our newsletters and share these photos. And sometimes businesses prefer to do it on their own, and that's okay. So if they decide to do it on their own, just make sure you write a note to yourself that to follow up and make sure that these businesses have registered. Aisha can also send you records of the businesses that you've reached out to if you've forgotten, or ones that might need follow-up once again. And so we have all that information once it's entered into our database.
Hi, just to clarify,
Yeah.
So when we go to the businesses, we don't have decals already that we can offer them to put up immediately?
We can send you some decals. That's certain. Right now we're under production, so we're printing out our new decals. They might not be ready when we mail out this first package to you. They will probably be ready in the next 2 months. So we can send you decals, and we would prefer if you as volunteers return to the business when you have these decals and you know, celebrate and post them together with the businesses. The other way we could do it is if a business registers on its own and you're unable to go back, you can just signal to us and let us know, and we can mail out a thank you package. We call it a thank you package, and it has a thank you letter along with the number of decals that they need.
Okay, thank you.
So moving on, there is the online order form, and I just wanted to show you quickly how this form looks like. This is the volunteer contact form. So you will need to fill out your name and your information, and then there's a section for business contact information. You will need to fill this information out, and there are some asterisks here that are required information for us. At the bottom, you can't see it here on the screenshot, but there's a comment section. So, for example, you know, businesses really do appreciate the program, and some might say no because there is a safe in the back room next to the washroom, and they don't feel that they want to have customers go back there. You know, add comments like that into the comment box so we understand some of the reasonings behind why businesses might not want to join. Or maybe your comment might be, I went to the store and unfortunately I wasn't able to meet with the business owner, so I will go back again and follow up in the next 2 weeks. You know, you could write those comments into that box as well. A new thing that we've started is we've created an update form. So if you do return to businesses that were unsure of whether or not they wanted to join, you return back to them and they say, yes, we've decided to join, and you've already filled out a form, you can click on the update, and all that's required is the name of the business and the update information. So yes, they want to order a decal, you can click on that, or maybe you got the postal code wrong and you needed to update that information. So you can go into that update section and update any information that was entered incorrectly to fix, or you could just follow up and let us know that this business has received a decal from me or that they've ordered it online. Okay. So any questions? I'll just stop here for a second. I know it's a lot of information to take in right now, but you will find as you move through the process it will become very easy for you to do.
So is it best to just show up randomly rather than call ahead?
That's a good question. You know, there are many different ways you could do this. We recommend taking the route of reaching out to business associations first. So in Calgary, we approached each business district individually. We contacted the lead of that business association. We sent them an email to say, this is GoHere. We would love to have your members come on board. Would you be willing to support us? And we found that all of the business associations came back with a yes. And one in particular wrote a letter directly with the business association letterhead, and they asked that the volunteers carry that letter and distribute it as they approached businesses. Another business association wanted to add a little news piece in their newsletter informing their businesses about GoHere. So you could do that route and reach out to business associations, or you could just, it's really like a cold call. You walk into a shop and you say, hi, I'm Sally from Crohn's and Colitis Canada, and I would really love to talk to the business owner or the manager of the day to talk to them about an exciting project idea. And so that's how you could, you know, you could start that, that outreach or that dialogue.
Okay.
We found that most businesses are actually quite welcoming of the staff. We haven't heard of, you know, anyone being turned away. People are very polite, and you know, they congratulate the volunteers on you know, taking action to make some change.
Great, thank you.
I have a question. This is Lindsay.
Yeah, hi Lindsay.
I got my volunteer package already, and it came with 5 packages. They've got like the letter in there, the thank you, and the sticker and all of that.
Okay.
So would the idea be that if they want me to sign up, I can give them that package at the time they say yes, or would you wait until everything's kind of finalized in the computer?
If they say yes and they're ready to post the decal on the spot, I suggest you do that, and then just make sure you have the information necessary so that when you go home that night, you can then enter the information into the database system.
Right, and then you guys will send me kind of a replacement. Is that the idea?
Yeah, exactly. So when you run out of packages, send us an email, and we'd be happy to send you more packages, more thank you packages.
Awesome, thank you.
You're welcome.
Hi, just another quick question. Since I know that this is a pilot project and hasn't been going on for too long, but would the idea be that in the future you would send out these thank you packages, and as Lindsay had just mentioned, give the thank you packages immediately as they respond yes? That just seems to be an easier, you know, would be less time consuming that way.
Yeah, absolutely. And, you know, this is what we prefer. We prefer if the volunteers are able to distribute the thank you packages immediately on spot. But you might experience, right now we're just in a temporary delay only because we have changed the decal design ever so slightly. And so we need to receive the new decals before we can send them out to the volunteers. So there might be a few months delay in that, but if you can make note of which businesses for now wish to come on board and just let them know that, you know, we will be coming back to give you a decal. That's just a temporary piece for now. Once we have all those decals in hand, we will make sure that all of you receive them.
Okay, that's great to hear. Thank you.
You're welcome. Okay, so looking at follow-up actions, so after you do your outreach, we really want you to go back to the online order form, and that information is housed in the Crohn's and Colitis Canada's internal database called Razor's Edge. We take that information and we run an analysis on the numbers of businesses approached and the number of those that registered for a decal. And as we were talking, you know, we will be sending you, the volunteer, thank you packages on hand. But for now, there will be a delay because we are getting in new decals, so you won't receive that immediately. You will receive that within a month or two once we receive these new decals. But you should have them on hand, and you know, moving forward, when you do your outreach, you can definitely go ahead and post these decals on the storefront windows.
I have another question. Sorry, this is Lindsay again.
Yeah, go ahead.
Just like regarding the stickers, could it or would it be possible for us to place the stickers that we currently have already made, and then once we get the replacement stickers, go back and swap them? I'm just thinking, like, you know, well, now we've got them to say yes, and you know, saying, oh, we'll come back in a month or two, like they might have forgotten, or it might not be as likely to agree still then. Do you know?
Yeah, we have a very limited amount of the current stickers, but you know what? We will do that. So when we send out your thank you packages now, we will send it out with the older decals, and then as we move forward, we will start inserting the new ones in your thank you packages.
Okay, that makes sense. So kind of until we run out of the stickers, but we'll still have to replace them.
Yeah, you won't. Yeah, you mean replace them by changing them on the store windows?
Yeah, exchange them if we've got yeses currently, I guess.
Yeah, we'll keep the current decals that you give, so we won't need to go back to the store and say, oh, we have a new decal to post. But when you run out of your own supply of decal stickers and you approach new businesses, just send us a quick email and we'll send you the numbers that you need.
Okay, perfect. Thank you.
You're welcome. And then what we'll do is we'll have, you know, periodic outreach. So Aisha will be sending out an email just to check in to see how your efforts are going. And if you find that you have recommendations on improving the project, because we're still in its infancy stage, we're more than happy to and welcome any comments or recommendations that you have. I know that our volunteers in Calgary, when we piloted this initiative, said, look, we need leave behinds for the businesses. We need quick, short postcards that we could give to businesses so that they don't forget that we had that conversation. And so now we've rolled out the postcards, and you guys will be getting copies of those postcards in your packages as well. So, you know, changes like that really help us improve the project. Great. So this is more of a checklist. I just want to make sure that, you know, for you GoHere volunteers, you should make sure that you filled out the volunteer application form on the CCC website. I know a lot of you are existing chapter members, so chapter members are already have a file on the system. But if you haven't done so, please go to the volunteer website and you can fill out your information there. After this orientation session, Aisha will send you the link and some information that you can try to read through and fill out and send back to us. The other piece is just to make sure that you have read the volunteer position description. So it's a quick one-pager that basically lists the responsibilities of a GoHere volunteer ambassador. Sign it. Think about the length of time that you would currently like to volunteer, and you can always extend it at a later point in time. That's fine. Sign it and send it back to us by email. The other thing is, I want you to think about your goal. You know, how many businesses do you want to reach out to in a month's time? Setting a goal really helps. Also thinking about your outreach to business associations. Maybe you decide that you want to reach out to associations, but also go store to store and talk to store owners and get that process started. Feel free to set some of those goals. Maybe a goal might be to reach out to 2 business associations by email to introduce the project, and then reach out to 20 businesses in a month to talk to them about GoHere. I think that's more of a realistic goal in terms of moving forward in a month. We will be sending you the volunteer packages, including the decals and the thank you kits. And again, we are always here 24/7. We always have access to our emails, so we can provide you with ongoing support. We can answer your questions and help improve or make your volunteer experience a really good one. So here in this slide, we'll also send you a copy of this slide deck. You have my contact information as well as Aisha's contact information, and our phone numbers are there as well. And this is where you could get a hold of us and ask us any questions or keep us informed about your outreach. Even before you head out, send us a quick email and let us know that, hi Natasha, I've decided to go out today and I'm going to aim to reach out to 20 businesses. Stay in touch. Let us know how those volunteer efforts are going. We always love to hear from you and get a better idea of how you're moving through your process as well. Even if you want to let us know about what your goals are, you please do share that information, and maybe we can help in some way, help you with that outreach. We could create model emails that we can send to you that you could forward off to business associations, for example.
Okay. Do you have, this is Sally speaking, do you have any sample email, just something as a rough guideline on what the individuals who did contact the business associations, what they said as initial contact? And also, did they actually try to meet with someone in person?
Yes, absolutely. So we could send that out to all of you, business association email templates.
Okay.
And we did have staff meeting with the business associations. We never had a volunteer meet, and that's not to say that volunteers can't. I think that you could go ahead and meet with the business associations, but before those face-to-face meetings happen, let us know, and maybe what we could do is help create a slide deck for you if you're doing a formal presentation, or we could even provide you with some postcards or extra business cards that you could use when you go into these meetings, just to make it look a little more on the professional side.
Sure, thank you. Yeah, out here it's pretty small, so I'm not really sure what it will be like, but I'll find out. But it'd be nice to have that support, yes.
Yeah, great. All right, so do others have any questions? Any more questions or any comments?
I just have one more. This is Sally. Some of the businesses that do have public washrooms, because they are, for instance, a restaurant or whatever, I still have heard from people that even though they have restaurants for their patrons, sometimes people are reluctant to just go in and use it if they're not going to be having lunch or dinner there. Would it be advantageous to actually ask them if they would also display a decal so that people can just go in and not feel a little uncomfortable if they're not staying to have a meal?
Absolutely. I think that any business that is out there in the community, they should be approached. We're also targeting a lot of our GI, gastroenterologist offices too. So in our next outreach effort, we will be sending each GI office a GoHere decal and asking them to open up their washrooms. I've had a hotel contact me and say, I think this is a great program and I want to open washroom access to the public in our hotel. So I think it's possible. I think you should totally go for it. And I can't see why they should turn away people simply because they're not eating at their restaurant at that time.
Right.
Yeah.
What about doctors and dentists' office?
Yeah, we do. We have a dentist office that's signed up to GoHere as well. So I would say go for it. If it, you know, I think that it makes most sense to have the medical community on our side. And I would imagine that it would be a lot more easier for them to understand the need than the general public.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Yeah. And then I also just wanted to mention that, you know, in previous training sessions, we've had questions about what about government, what about our municipalities. Yes, you know, GoHere has also been successful at reaching out to municipalities. First to ask for a bylaw where they could enforce washroom access, but more so having municipalities open up their community centers or post decals that identify that they're part of the GoHere program as well. So that's something that, you know, once you have a few businesses under your belt, if that's something that you'd like to explore, we could definitely work together to reach out to that municipality that you belong to.
Great.
Excellent. So are there other questions or concerns or comments from people on the phone? Okay, wonderful. Yeah, oh, sorry, did someone have something to say?
No, I just said probably after we hang up.
I'm sure once you have a chance to do your initial outreach, I would expect, you know, some questions to come through. That's natural and normal. But you know, we will have this webinar posted onto our website, our go-here.ca website, and we will be posting more short training videos on our site as well to show you how to fill out an online contact form, how to approach a business, doing some role play and capturing that on video as well. So these tools will also help our volunteers that are reaching out in their local communities. So Aisha will follow up with you after this phone call, and she'll send you the position description form. Please have a look at that and sign and send back. And fill out that volunteer contact form if you haven't done so already. And we will be mailing each of you a volunteer package very soon, so you'll get that in the mail. But it shouldn't stop you from, you know, until you get that package, you should start thinking about your goals, how many businesses you wish to reach out to, and even thinking about or identifying which business associations you'd like to talk to as well.
Okay.
Great. Okay, well, thank you everybody, and thank you for your time, and thank you for your passion and commitment to GoHere.
Thank you very much.
Okay, we look forward to communicating with you. Okay, take care.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye. Thank you.